Hello again, everyone. Today we are here to make this card. Now, we made them for Easter. If you notice, it is a top fold, so it's not a side fold. So that's the first thing just I want you to be aware of. You can use it for anything really, though. I mean, it is an Easter egg, but I guess you could use it for some other things maybe, but Easter will come around again. All right, so in your kit, this is the finished card. I'm not actually going to make the card. I'm just going to show you how to do it because the fun part is you making the card. So you've got some of these strips, you've got some flowers and leaves, you have your base, right, top fold embossed on one side with an egg cut out, and then you've got a smaller piece. Now your smaller piece is this colored piece. Notice on the inside of the card, I hope you can see that there, we're going to glue it inside the card. So are you going to see it on the inside when you open it? Yeah. If you don't like that, then you can get a bigger piece of white, measure it out, and pop it over that if you prefer. But nobody's really going to say anything about it. And if they do, cross them off the list. All right, so let's start with the inking. Now, in class, what we used was Distress Oxide inks. You can use any ink that you have, Oxide, regular Distress. You can use Memento, you can use Stampin' Up, Close to My Heart. Use whatever ink you have and that you like. I used Oxides because I like them and we had an easy time getting them during the supply chain issues. So I used dried marigold, salvage patina, and spun sugar. Now, if I go too fast for you, remember the beauty of video is that you can stop, pause, rewind. So please feel free to do that if it's a little fast for you. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color my base here. Now, if you haven't colored with inks before, I tend to use the blending brushes because I like them better. You can use a blending tool, like a Ranger tool with the foam, not the felt, with the foam. If you need any of those, contact Christina. They have them available at the store. A dauber would be a little rough to use on this. You could do it if you had time and patience, but I would think a blending tool or a blending brush would be fine, and we usually have those in our stashes. So as you likely already know, you just ink it up. You don't press too hard. You just go across the center there. It picks up a lot, the oxides do. And again, same procedure for any of the inks. Start off the page in a circle, and then just come on down. And you're going to ink wherever you want it. The important thing really is to make sure that you overlap. So start off, and that way you don't get a big clump on your page, and that's kind of why you start off the page there a little bit. Put these inks wherever you want them. Be sure that you overlap. Where's my blue? Nope, that's not my blue. This is my blue. So again, starting off the page, I didn't really put enough ink on that. Starting off the page, honestly, I didn't really start off the page, and you see how it left that? But I'm going to overlap this. I'm not going to be too careful about how I do this, quite frankly, because it's going underneath. So I just need for the colors that I want to show through. And if I only want to use two colors, I can just as easily do that. And you know what? I think that I will in this particular case. Because again, I'm just showing you how I would do it. If you wanted to use a third color, I would put it here and here. You want to do stripes, just blend it across like you normally would. So what I'm going to do with my flowers then, and so one lucky person is going to get their flowers colored in their kit. I'm going to make my flowers all pink since I didn't use the pink here. So what will happen with this piece is that you will glue it here. Not yet, don't do it yet. Just telling you what you're gonna end up doing. So it'll be here. So if like on the back, like this was from my pick, because you always have something down that's wipeable when you're using inks, right? Or that you can throw out. And I had ink on mine already, and that's what happened there. So when you close it, right, you see that. So that's where we're going. But before we go there, we have to get to these stripes. So let me push, I don't know the way to push that, so let me put this over that so that we don't get color all over our card. Okay, so you're going to take your stripes. You are going to go inside. Is that better? with the black. You're going to go inside the card. Try and make it so that you can see. I would start in the middle. You're going to put a little dab of glue on the end, tape it there, cut. Wait until it's dry. So take your strips. Now make sure that your fingers aren't inky like mine. Space them the way you want them and then start tacking them down. Now if you want to put the glue on the card here and here, and this is where this Barely Arts glue comes in great because it's got this super fine tip, which is what you need. Can you see that? It's super fine tip. So space them out as you like. When you have what you want, snip it off. Now you can pre-snip these before you glue, or you can glue, wait till it's dry, and then snip. So once you've done that, then take your pieces, because now you'll have shorter pieces from the same thing, right? That's why you start at the ends, not in the middle, and then you're gonna crisscross. And you're gonna do the same thing with the glue. So you're going to end up crisscrossing so that you have this. So these, I glued down first. And then these, I spaced and glued over it so that when I turned it over, I had that pattern. So, let me show you what I mean. I can't show you what I mean, I don't have the scissor. Yes, I do. Okay, so I would measure here to here. I'm going to give myself just a little bit of leeway, but remember, I want it to be inside the embossed areas because my glue's going. I want it inside the embossed areas because I know that that's what my paper will cover. And I also am looking at my strips, and one side definitely looks like it was cut. You know, like one side looks like it's the front, the other looks like it's the back. So I am making sure that I do that. So again, I'm doing this. I'm gonna snip as I go. I can put glue on the edges here. Now you see I had ink on my finger, so it got on the inside of the card. I'm gonna put this here. And I'm just gonna try to make them, you know, even, straight, whatnot. You space them out as you like, and then when you're done, do the same thing but in the opposite direction so that you will get that pattern on the other side. Make sense? Remember, you can always stop and rewind the video or pause it while you do this, and I would suggest you do that. So when you have these all cut and glued for what you like, I would put it to the side to dry. You don't want to close the card because you may have some wet glue there. So just leave it to the side to make sure that it dries. I would then go to my flowers and I would color the flowers. And how I would color the flowers is exactly the same way. I'm just gonna do one leaf so that you see. I'm using shabby shutters. My go-to is usually mowed lawn. But again, any green you have, when I use Memento, the new sprout and the bamboo leaves are always my go-tos. I'm just gonna put a little, like pounce a little color on it. It doesn't have to be even, it doesn't have to be perfect. Nothing in nature is even or perfect. And then you're going to shape the flowers, right? So I'm just gonna do that. And let me do just one here. This pink is a little messy. It's not the brush, it looks like it had some orange in it, but it looks like we're back to the pink, more pink than orange. And this is all I'm doing with it, depending on how light or dark I want it. Because remember, an oxide ink is going to be more opaque, so chalkier, harder to see through. If you're using regular Distress or you're using a different brand, you're gonna be able to see through it. They're much more translucent. So as we've done before, take your flower shaping mat and stylus. I usually just go for the middle one, the medium one. If you've never shaped a flower before, we have lots of card videos before if you have access to them that shows you how to do it. Heartfelt Creations does it. This is actually Heartfelt Creations flower shaper paper. It's the best for this kind of thing. Take your mini mister or water mister, hold it about a foot, 12 inches above. Make sure that the nozzle's facing down. Ask me how I know to remind you of that. 1 squirt, that's all you need. And then for this, because it's just a card, I would just press at the top and the end of the petal, not quite the middle, and press in. And that's all there is to it. Did we do this one? For the smaller ones, I would just press once in the middle of the petal, turn it over, press down. The leaves, same thing. Do that, press down. For the smaller ones, just once. Then you would take your glue, put a little drop of glue in the middle here. It doesn't need that much. Offset your petals. I always just hold it down with the smaller end of the stylus and then give it a minute. So after you're done coloring, shaping, and gluing all 3 of these together, you're going to go back to your card. You're going to take your inked piece. You're going to put it here. Make sure you like it, whichever way. Put your glue on the inked side edges. Pop it down. Any excess glue, make sure that you take off before you close your card. If you have to wait, then you do that. Then you pop your flowers underneath. Now your flowers would be inked and together at that point. You would then take your pearls, pop your pearls in the center, arrange these however you like them. I usually like the middle one to be up a little bit. So arrange them however you like them. Remember, it's your card, there's no wrong way. We all have one of these in our stash, I'm sure, a little gem picker-upper thingy. I'm sure there's a technical name for it, but I don't know it. This is great, this has to be sharpened, but this is great for picking up rhinestones and pearls. It's a go-to and a must in my craft room. And you just pick up the pearl, pop it on there. If it doesn't stick, then just sharpen the pencil a little bit more and it will. You just don't even have to press real hard, just press lightly and pick it up. Pop your glue where those pieces meet. A little drop of glue in the center of each flower. Pop them in, wait for it to dry, and you are done. If you have any questions about this, please feel free to post on the website. We will be happy to answer your questions. We don't always monitor the videos for questions or chat, so if you have a question, please be sure that you tag me or Christina in the group, and that way we can answer them for you. I hope you love your card. Have a great day. Thanks for taking the class.